Hey guys, this is Atul and welcome to my YouTube channel. We are going to have a demo on OWASP ZAP. Okay, and we are going to see how we can automate it with help of Java, Selenium and ZAP API. So basically ZAP it acts as a proxy, and as it is acting as a proxy, that means it is an interface between the browser and the network. It scans the HTTP messages which are going through the network, and it can also modify those messages as well if required, right? So, guys, I have prepared some notes, and during our demo, we will be referring these notes, and I will attach these notes in the description section of this video as well. So, this thing we have already discussed. Now, moving ahead. So, there are two type of scans in ZAP. One is passive scan, the other one is active scan. Under passive scanning, ZAP will basically scan the HTTP messages which are going through the network. Okay, it will not perform any kind of modification on them. On the other hand, under active scanning, ZAP will modify those HTTP messages as per the attack it want to simulate. So these attacks are the attacks which are already programmed within ZAP, and these are the well-known attacks which have happened in the past on the web applications, right? So by default, ZAP will perform a passive scan only. So we'll see this thing in our demo as well, right? So guys, this thing is really important that penetration testing can never be done without taking permission from the owner of the web application. Due to this reason, I will be performing this demo only on the local host application. So these are the tools which we will be using in demo. IntelliJ as a IDE, Java as a programming language, Maven as a build tool, and TestNG as a test framework. Dependencies, we are going to use TestNG, Selenium Java, ZAP client, WebDriver manager, and these are the specific versions which we are going to use. Now let us start with the demo. So the first step is we need to download ZAP. Just copy this link into the browser. You will see a zip file will start to download. I will skip this step because I have already downloaded it. Once download is completed, you can extract it in any of the folder. I have extracted it in this particular folder, and just double click on this bat file. So ZAP will start within 1 minute. It will take around 1 minute to get loaded completely. By default, this will run on port number 8080, and in case you already have something running on that port, ZAP will prompt you to enter some other free port. And guys, you need to, this is a prerequisite that you need to keep this tool open for this entire demo, because for penetration testing we need to keep our proxy up and running, and this is the proxy, right? And this is the first option which is saying, this is just asking that how you want to maintain the session. So we can select this first option that we want to persist the sessions and just click on start. Okay, and let us see if proxy has also started on 8080 or not. So yeah, we can see that proxy has started, right? And you can also change the port number from here. Just go to the options. Here under local proxies, you will be able to see the address on which this is running, the port number on which this is running, right? You can change it, and you will be able to see that port will be changed. Then this is the important thing, that we need to provide this API key within our program while executing the penetration test. This key is just like a auth key. Okay, now coming to the next steps. So we are done with this. We are done with this step as well. This one is also completed. This one we have discussed. We have checked this thing as well, and we are done with this. So next thing is we need to create a Java project, right? For this, I am opening IntelliJ, clicking on new project. We'll create a Maven project, and Yeah, Maven, we do not need to select any archetype here. Click on next, name the project. Okay. And here select the folder in which you want to place it. I have already created this folder, so I'm gonna keep it in this particular folder. Click on finish. It will take some time to load the project, and in the meanwhile we can see the next steps. So we are done with this. Then we need to add the following dependencies, the dependencies which we were discussing earlier. Okay, so I have already opened them in my browser. I'm going to add this in my pom.xml once the project setup is complete. It's still going on, it is updating, resolving Maven dependencies. We can see if the project structure has been created yet or not. Okay, the project structure has been completed. Okay, it is done. Now add dependencies tag. It is not there already, sorry. Yeah, gonna copy each dependency one by one. Just load the project. It will fetch the dependencies. You will be able to see all the dependencies in here. You see zap proxy is there, selenium is there, test ng is also there. Okay, so all the proxies has been, all the dependencies has been grabbed, and now let us create the main things that we need to do. We can see what all things we need to do on high level in this step 6. So we need to define the OWASP ZAP as a proxy. We need to perform a driver setup. We will be doing we will be using this proxy which we have defined in this particular driver, and then initializing the client API reference. And so let us do this thing first. Okay, for this we'll create a util package and a class zap util. So all the zap related method we will place it in here, and our test class will be using it directly. So for this demo purpose we will rely only as of now only on this zap util and one class which we will be creating here. Let us name it as zap test. Okay, so let us create first client API reference. Okay, so for that, client API will initialize it, and let us take it as a static data member. And proxy we will be needing within our test class while we will be doing driver setup there. Okay, for that we will be making this public so that it can be accessed within that. So we can define the method as well, but this particular function, this particular property we are going to use just once, so we can directly access it using the data member. Proxy and proxy. import class imported from Selenium, and as both of these are static, we can initialize these in static block. Client API equal to new client API, and we are going to see what parameters it is going to take as so this will take ZAP address, ZAP port, and API key. So let us copy this from here. We'll place it here. Private static final. We do not need to change it later, right? And private. Let us define this ZAP address. So this is localhost. Our proxy is running on localhost as we discussed, and the port number is 8080. API key we are going to copy from ZAP, and from ZAP we will go to tools, options, and API. This is the key that we need. Okay, we are done with this. Now just pass it here. ZAP address, ZAP port, and API key. After it, let us initialize the proxy. New proxy dot. So these are the two proxies that we need to set: SSL proxy and HTTP proxy. This will take the localhost colon and your port. That's it. This is the proxy, right? And now we are going to set up the same thing in here as well. Okay, so proxy has been set up. Our test class can call this proxy. Okay, and once browser will open using that proxy, the passive scan will get started. But now we need to wait till that passive scan is completed. So for that, let us create another static method, static void wait till passive scan completed. Okay, so now we are going to use this client API reference, client API dot. So passive scan, it comes under this pscan. We'll see the API in this as well. Like we have a local host where these let me come to the main page here. So this is our proxy, right? And here you will be able to see link of local APIs. So when you go to this detail here, you will be able to see pscan mentioned here. Pscan is the passive scan, and these are all the methods that we can use. So if you see here, we have records to scan. The number of records the passive scanner still has to scan. This is important, guys. Still has to scan. That means if this is 0, that means the passive scan is completed. We can see one thing from here as well. So these are the uh, parameters which this particular endpoint is going to take. We can see the endpoint in the network tab. Let us do it practically as well. So just take this API key, we can see the network tab, and in network tab we'll see what is the response that we are going to receive. The response is this. Okay, we have here as well. Then we also can see it here. So this is the endpoint which it tried to hit. And this is the URI, base URL, then JSON, pscan, view, records to scan. So you can find these endpoints as well. Okay, like if you, let me show you, if you just copy this, yeah, here you will see API reference. Okay, and if you go to the detail of this particular page, if you enter the complete endpoint, here you will see like just like the way we have in the Swagger, we can see that this is the get endpoint, and in the network tab we have seen that it was taking proxy as the parameter, and then these were the default parameter which it had, and this is the response. So um, you can use the Java code which they have provided here as well directly. So, or you can also use rest assured here, guys. Like assured, you just need to hit this endpoint. You need to get the response. Okay, and then once the response is there, you need to check if the value is 0 or not. So similarly, if you see, there are a lot of endpoints which are already there. Okay, you can just directly hit them to achieve whatever you want to achieve in ZAP. And then this client API, this is the simpler way to receive to achieve the same thing. Let me show you how. So now client API dot pscan record to scan. Okay, this is the method that we want to see, and we have seen it from here that this is the method, and we can see what is the return type. Return type is API response. Just go back, and we can sound it with try catch, import class. As of now, let us keep it in this way only. Then we need to extract this particular let me show you the response that we have. So we need to extract this value. How we will do it? Let us see that. So for this might seems a bit complicated, the thing which I'm going to do now, but while debugging we will easily be able to see that how it is being handled. So now here there is a class reference of API response element. Okay, and we need to just extract that, typecast it, and then here you will see get value. So here we can mention temp val equal to, this is going to be a string. Okay, and now this value, say we need to wait till this value becomes 0. Okay, so for that we can apply a while loop, temp val dot equals, here we can mention this out, passive scan is in progress, and then just copy paste these things, remove this, Okay, and after it, instead of debug it, now we can mention passive scan is completed. Okay, this is the way in which we can dynamically wait till our passive scan is completed. Okay, and the next thing is we need to generate report. Zap report. So for this, client API dot reports dot generate. Okay, so this is the method which we are going to use. Now there is an endpoint for this as well. You can do it by exploring that endpoint, by hitting that and pass these values as the parameter. But for like this is the simpler APIs which ZAP has provided, so we can utilize these as well. Then this particular method, as we can see, this is taking a lot of parameters, right? So I have already placed them here. So under this URL, you can find the detail of these parameters as well, and we are going to discuss it later as well in our tutorial. It will take a string parameter from our test class, the site on which we want to perform our testing. Okay. And these, the parameter which we have defined above, we can just use them there. Okay. So now this will also throw the same kind of exception. So just add try catch and you can again customize it. So after this, what is this like the description of these particular things? Let us discuss this. So demo title, the title that you want to give to your report. Template traditional HTML. So there are a lot of templates, a few of them which we are going to see in our upcoming tutorial as well, upcoming videos as well. So uh, this thing we will be discussing. So as of now, we are going to use traditional HTML, and I will show you as well that how we can get the values. Then description, the one liner that you want to describe your report with. Then site to test. This site, it will come on the top of your report, like which site you have tested. We can ignore this as of now. And then report file name, the file name with which this report will be displayed in the directory in your folder, and this is the target folder in which you want to uh, download this file, download this report. Okay, so this is the basic thing that we require as of now. Then we go to zap test. Here we will perform a simple test and see the report being generated and passive scan being completed as well. So for this, we need WebDriver instance. Okay, a before method of testng at the rate before method tag hook from testng, and then public void setup. Okay, Chrome option equal to new Chrome options, and here we will be using that proxy. So you can do zaputil dot proxy. Okay, this is done. Now next step is we need to set up our Chrome driver. Manager dot Chrome driver dot setup. Now just initialize the Chrome driver. and pass these Chrome options which is having the proxy. Now our driver has been initialized and it is using the proxy which we have defined here, right? When this class will load as it is static, at the load time, class load time, everything will be initialized and we are going to use it. Then at the rate test method, public void demo test. Here I'm going to mention the site name on which we are going to test, and we are, as we discussed, that we will be using localhost for demo. So for now, let me start it on the localhost on which our ZAP is running. Okay, private string and URL to test. Driver.get URL to test. And the next thing is, now as we were discussing, as soon as driver will load this URL and we are already using this proxy within this driver, so that means passive scan will start itself. That is the thing that we were discussing, that by default ZAP proxy will run the passive scan as soon as a URL has been provided to that particular proxy. Okay, so after it, we need to wait till our scan is completed. For that, let me do one thing. Let me statically import static util dot util dot star. Okay, so now we do not need to provide this and wait for the passive scan to get completed. That's it. Let me quickly do after method as well. Wait down. Okay, so here we will be generating the report, passing the URL to test, and after it, just perform a driver dot quit. You can make it final. That's all right. Okay, now things are done. But we remember we were saying that we will see why we perform this thing specifically. So let us apply a debugger here, and let me debug this first. Setup is running. Chrome driver has started. URL has opened. Now we are here. Let us see what this thing contains. The response it contains. Okay, it is having a value 0, and this the name records to scan. That means it has already scanned everything. Now let us see one more thing. API response, I'm going to evaluate it. Say if you want to get value, let us use this method dot get value. If you want to do this, it is coming from API response element, right? Where is get name? You can directly see the get name from here. It is giving record to scan. But if you do the get value, it is coming from this element. So that's why I have used it. And if you will evaluate, you'll see 0 here. Okay, so that's why I have used it. And now let us go ahead and we will be able to see a report which will be generated. Just click on continue. So guys, see, a report has been generated, and it has been generated with the name which we have provided here, demo file name. Okay, and I'll go to this particular location and open the report so that we can see the layout and everything. So this is the report. Okay, and let me go back. You remember we provided this as our title, demo title, and this is the description that we have provided. It is coming here. Then this is site to test, the site which we want to include in our report. Okay, and directory, user directory we selected, that's why it is created in this particular directory itself. File name we already discussed, right? So guys, if we go to this report, guys, there is no alert, because first of all it is a passive scanning. Then we have executed it on this particular application, which is our local host application, and it is maintained by OWASP ZAP. Okay, so chances are quite minimal that we'll see any alert. So I have done some more research, and I have find out on OWASP.org website, there are these web applications provided which are programmed to be vulnerable, right? So we can do one thing. There is one particular website which I have found, that's with juice and gin and juice soap. Okay, if you see the announcement of this, it is specifically saying that gin and juice soap, put your scanners to the test. Okay, this is for testing of security test scanners. Okay, so you can read through this announcement, and then this particular site I will be using it for the passive scanning. I will still not be using it for the active scanning. Okay, on the safer side, because on, as we earlier discussed, in active scanning there is HTTP messages modification, and then I have read it somewhere as well that during that modification it has been observed that a site can also turn down, right? And we certainly don't want that with some application which is not owned by us, or on which we have not specifically taken the authorization to test the things. So let me copy this thing, and I have already pasted it here. Okay, so for passive scanning I'm going to demo it on this particular web application. Okay, so just let me run a scan. I'm going to come here, and guys, sites are added within this particular section whenever there is a passive scan or active scan in progress. And we can see this particular eye here. It will show you all the records which are still yet to scan. For passive scanning, you'll see a queue will get created here. Once the URL is opened with the proxy, it will count the number. See, it is coming down now. It is 0. So that particular parameter records to scan, that is here. Okay, and here you can see the alerts are also raised. So we triggered our program from there, and our proxy is able to detect the alerts here. Passive scan was executed, alerts are there, and then under this you will see sites. Okay, this is the main site, and guys, these are some uh, data which is being processed in the back end. So our proxy is able to detect these sites as well, but our main focus is on this web application only. So in future tutorials we will also see how we can remove these sites from scanning. Now coming to the report part, see guys, now we have the alerts here, one medium, 7 low, and one informational, and the same thing is here as well. So the things from here are going to the report. Then how many instances of each alert was there. Okay, here you will find the detail of each alert instance wise, like wherever there was an instance, it will show you that as well. And It is saying that this is the area where this threat was detected. This is the solution that we can have, and this is the reference of what is the significance of this X frame option, what happens if it is not provided, where to provide it, and how we can solve this thing. So this is the consolidated report, guys, which you can analyze and share it with your developer and see which all alerts you need to fix. That's it for this particular video. So if you did like the content of this video, or if you have some feedback, some questions, do let me know in the comment section, and I will also attach the things which you will be needing to complete this demo at your end in the description section. In upcoming videos, we will see how to manipulate our report through that generate report method, excluding redundant URLs from scanning, exclude a particular alert type from scanning, executing the active scan, and clearing the scan after each run. So there is still a lot to uncover. Thanks a lot for watching this video, guys, and please stay tuned. See you in the next video.